Selling is all about bringing people to the point of persuasion and conviction, right? That holding on to what they have is not a smart and wise decision. That it is better for them to have what you have, right? So that the quality of their life and existence can be better. What do I mean by that? You see, every time you are convincing someone that it is better for them to get what you already have, right, in exchange for what they have, you have simply sold them. We started a series of discourse like 4 weeks, today being the 4th week, on the 8 mistakes you need to avoid in the marketplace. And we already established the fact that in the marketplace there are certain needless mistakes that you shouldn't be making. Even though a lot of people make these mistakes, right, you should learn how to avoid them. And you see, the first step to avoiding is awareness. If you are not aware of these mistakes, there's no way you'll be able to avoid them. And if you don't avoid them, you are going to end up becoming like every other person in the marketplace. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that very few people rise in life and in the marketplace. And that's why we're talking about this in this series of discourse. We said there are 8 mistakes you need to avoid, and we've spoken about 7, today being the last part in that discourse. So we said number 1 mistake you need to avoid is creating a separation between your walk and your walk of faith. The number 2 mistake is not taking your work seriously. You see, the history of retirement really needs to be studied by many people, because many people are oblivious of where retirement came from. I'm not going to tell you that today, is a topic for another day. But you see, the mindset of retirement is what makes a lot of people not even to take their work seriously. You are not supposed to retire from work. You can retire from a job, but you are not supposed to retire from work. That's why you notice that the moment many people retire, just pay attention, observe your environment. You notice that for the most part, their lives begins to nosedive, their health begins to deteriorate, because man was never meant to be out of work. The second mistake you should avoid in the marketplace is not taking your work seriously. Don't just go to work because you have to go to work. Go to work because you understand that it is a life essential. Be engaged in the marketplace, productively engaged, because you know it is an essential part of your existence. Number 3 mistake you need to avoid in the marketplace is not having an agenda. Not having a marketplace agenda. There must be a reason why you are going to work. There must be a reason why you are in that field. There must be a reason why you are in that industry. Don't just go there to keep body and soul together. If you are alive and you are watching this, your body and soul are still together. So there is no point trying to keep body and soul together. Be strategic in your approach in the marketplace. Have a reason for what you're doing. What is your agenda? What is your reason? Why you do what you do would always be more important than what you're doing. The 4th mistake, right, that you need to avoid in the marketplace is ignoring the handwritings on the wall, ignoring the change that is taking place in your field of play, ignoring the change that is taking place in your industry. I gave the illustration of Uber and traditional taxis, right, and how a lot of taxi drivers lost their jobs because of the advent of the apps like Uber, like Taxify, like a couple other companies like that. Number 5 mistake you need to avoid, right, is doing what everyone is doing. The fact that something is working for other people doesn't mean it is going to work for you. Don't do things because others are doing it. Do it from a point of conviction. Do it from a point of passion. Do it from a standpoint of vision. Do it because you realize that you can make a contribution to this particular industry and field of play. Number 6 mistake you need to avoid is not prioritizing your growth and personal development. Not prioritizing your growth and personal development. Your business, your career would never grow beyond your level of growth. Look at your life right now. Look at your current level of results. You see, that is a reflection of your level of development. Just look at your life. Look at your bank account. Look at the quality of your existence. That is a reflection of your personal development. You would never live beyond your level of growth and development. The 6th mistake, right, we said is not prioritizing your growth. Number 7 mistake you need to avoid is not cultivating strategic alliances. Not cultivating strategic alliances. In life, you have to be strategic. You have to be brutally selective, right, in your association. The fact that someone wants to be your friend does not mean you should be their friend. If you welcome everyone with open arms who wants to be your friend, it simply means you are ignorant of how life works. It simply means you are also ignorant of the fact that you don't have enough time to be everybody's friend. If someone is going to be your friend in the marketplace, the first question you need to ask yourself is this: what are they contributing? What are they bringing to the table? You see, you are not in the marketplace for emotional support or friendship. You are in the marketplace for results. You are in the marketplace to produce specific results. And that's why in corporate environment, you see that when you get a job, they tell you about your key results areas. They tell you about your KPI, key performance index, a key performance index, right? There are specific results that is required and demanded of you in the marketplace. And you see, you need to cultivate relationships, cultivate strategic alliances that will enable you to deliver these results, right? And number 8 mistake people make is not learning how to sell. Not learning how to sell. This is a big mistake. You need to understand that the very fact that you are existing, right, places upon you a demand to know how to sell. If you are ever going to get married as a man, you need to sell your dreams, your future, yourself to a woman. Now, look at it. This person doesn't know you from anywhere. There was a day that you are a stranger in her life, and you are looking for this woman who is going to literally commit her life, the rest of her life, into your hands. That requires selling, because selling is all about persuasion. Selling is all about bringing someone to a point of conviction to see what you are saying. You see, everybody needs to know how to sell. Whether you are a job seeker, whether you are a business owner, whether you are a career person, right, or an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to sell. Nothing happens in the marketplace until a sale is made. You must learn how to sell. You look at someone like David on the battlefield. When he appeared at the battlefield, you see, he knew he could take on Goliath, but nobody knew he could do that. You see, nobody knows what you can do. Nobody knows your potentials. Nobody knows your abilities, right, until you sell yourself to us. And that was what David did. I believe you know the story of David and Goliath, right? In the deep details of the story, we're told that when David got to the battlefield, he asked his brothers that what's going to be given to the person that can bring down this giant. And the thought, it was just being proud, it was just being over ambitious, and they shut him up. But David went to someone else until the news got to Saul the king, right, that there is this young chap on the battlefield, right, in the camp. There is this young chap in the camp who believes that he can take on Goliath. When they brought David before Saul the king, you know what David did? He sold himself to the king. He said, you know what, king? I've killed the lion before. I've killed the bear before. I was taking care of my father's flock. And when a lion came after the sheep, I went after it, rescued the sheep, and killed the lion. That was selling. It was bringing the king to the point of persuasion. It was bringing the king to the point of conviction that I have what it takes to do this. I have what it takes to get this job done. You see, you must learn how to sell yourself. As a career person, it might be that the reason why you've not been promoted is because you have not been selling yourself to your superiors. You have not been selling yourself to your boss. Your boss does not believe you can do right, work at the next level, right, of the organization. You might be able to do it, but guess what? It is not your supervisors, it is not your boss's responsibility to know what you can do. It is your responsibility to sell yourself. As a matter of fact, it is not even your client's responsibility to find out what you are capable of. It is your responsibility to sell yourself to your client. So selling is all about bringing people to the point of persuasion and conviction, right? That holding on to what they have is not a smart and wise decision. That it is better for them to have what you have, right, so that the quality of their life and existence can be better. What do I mean by that? You see, every time you are convincing someone that it is better for them to get what you already have, right, in exchange for what they have, you have simply sold them. So what you have just done is that you are selling to them. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people is that in the marketplace, the people who succeed, the people who thrive, they understand that it is impossible for you to succeed in the marketplace without selling. But you see, the average person just goes into the marketplace. I've even had people say things like, me, I don't like selling, I don't like marketing, me, I don't like, I just want to do my job. Everybody is into sales. You are either selling internally or selling externally. Even to be promoted on the job requires selling. If your boss doesn't know what you are capable of doing, it simply means you have not sold yourself. If your clients don't know your new products, if they don't know the services you are offering in its entirety, it simply means you have not sold yourself effectively. So the question is, what do you need to sell? Because if you are a job seeker, what you are selling is different from what you are going to be selling if you're an entrepreneur, right? If you're a job seeker, what a job seeker is going to sell is different from what an entrepreneur should be selling. What an employer of labor, right, is selling is different from what an employee should be selling. For instance, a CEO has to sell the vision of the organization for the quarter, right, for the year. He has to sell the plans, he has to sell the strategy, right, he has to sell the, where the organization is going to be 5, 10, 20 years from now. A job seeker, the goal is to sell himself and what he has the potential of doing, right? A job seeker cannot be selling vision at the interview panel. No, you've got to sell yourself. You need to sell your skill. You need to convince people, right, that are the people that are interviewing you, that you are capable of producing results when or if they eventually hire you. So what do you need to sell? What do you need to sell? Number one, you need to sell yourself. You need to sell yourself. We see David doing this when he was brought before the King Saul, right? He sold himself. He sold himself. Number two thing you need to sell is you need to sell your competence. You've got to sell your competence. What are you good at? What are you the best at? What is that thing you can do better than your colleagues? You see, it is not playing politics, but if you are better in something than your colleagues, you've got to ensure your supervisor and your boss is aware of your expertise. What is that thing you can do better than your competition as a business person? You need to make sure your clients are aware of that. You need to make sure your potential customers are aware of your skill, your expertise, and your competence. The third thing you must learn to sell in the marketplace, right, is your experiences. Your experiences. You see, the thing about your experiences is that they are unique. Nobody has your experience. Nobody has gone through the things you have gone through in life. And that is why you must learn how to sell your experiences. You must learn how to weave your experiences, right, into who you have become today. How have your experiences, how have they shaped you, the good, the bad, and the ugly? How has it made you who you have become today? And how is it going to shape your vision, your dreams, your future? You must learn to sell your experiences. The fourth thing you must learn how to sell is your passion. The fifth thing you must learn how to sell is your beliefs, right? Learn to sell your passion. What are you passionate about? What is that thing that keeps you up at night? What is that thing you keep thinking about? What is that thing that even when you are sleeping, right, your mind is still engaged, thinking about that thing? Sell your passion. Also, you need to sell your beliefs. Sell your beliefs. What is your thought process? What do you believe in? Why are you doing what you're doing? You've got to sell your beliefs. You've got to sell your passion. You've got to sell your experiences. You've got to sell your skill, your competence, your expertise. You need to sell yourself. And also, you must learn to sell your uniqueness. You must learn to sell your uniqueness. That is your difference. What is that thing, or what are those things that is separating you from the competition in the marketplace? You see, the thing is, God did not create anybody that has your fingerprint, right? That even has, nowadays you can unlock your phone with your eyes, is it retina scanning, they call it now, because nobody has that thing the way you have it. There is something unique about you as a business person, as a career person. There is something unique about you. There is something different about you. You must learn to sell these things. You must learn to blow these things up in the marketplace, right? Apostle Paul said, I magnify my office. He said, I'm an apostle to the Gentiles. What was he trying to do? He was trying to sell himself. He was trying to make everybody aware of the fact that this is my calling. This is what I'm called out for. This is what my life is all about. This is what I want to achieve. So the question is, when was the last time you sold yourself? When was the last time you sold yourself? I would encourage you, learn how to sell. Your success in the marketplace and in your field of play is largely dependent on your ability to sell. And don't just learn how to sell, learn how to sell well. learn how to sell well. Get books on selling, go for courses on selling, listen to messages on selling, get resources on selling, develop yourself, grow yourself in the area of selling. Remember, we said one of the mistakes people make in the marketplace is not investing in their growth and personal development. One of the ways in which you need to invest in yourself to ensure you are growing and developing is to learn how to sell. Learn how to sell, because until you do, your success in the marketplace is going to be limited. I believe you've learned one or two things in this series. We're going to be starting another series from next week, Monday. I want you to be on the lookout. It's going to bless you. So I'd like to remind you to subscribe to this channel, subscribe, turn on notifications. And if you've been blessed, if you've learned one or two things right in this episode or the past episodes, why don't you tell your friends about it? Why don't you share the good news, right? It's the gospel. Share it with other people. So share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with everyone in your network, right? I believe you're going to do that. God bless you. Bye for now.